My beloved child, come closer and listen with your heart, not with fear, not with doubt, but with the quiet place inside you that still believes I am speaking. I see the questions you do not ask out loud. I see the moments when your thoughts return to the same place, the same person, the same confusion. You wonder why she still exists in his world, why her name still appears, why her presence has not fully disappeared even though you feel in your spirit that something is changing. I know how this has tested your patience. I know how it has stirred your emotions. I know how many times you have asked me, silently or through tears, God, if you are leading me forward, why does this still remain? Hear me now. I am not absent in this situation. I am not unaware. I am not delaying without purpose. Everything that still exists has a reason, and everything that will leave at the right moment. You are not stuck. You are not forgotten. You are not second. You are being prepared. The hidden reason she still has a place in his world is not what your fear whispers to you. It is not because you are lacking. It is not because she is greater. It is not because I am confused about whom I have chosen to grow, to refine, to awaken. Sometimes something remains not because it belongs, but because it is finishing its assignment. Some connections are allowed to stay just long enough to reveal the truth, to expose patterns, to bring clarity that could not be gained any other way. I am teaching him something through this that could not be taught through comfort alone. I am showing him the difference between attachment and alignment, between habit and love, between what feels familiar and what is truly from me. And I am teaching you something too, something deeper than patience, something stronger than hope. I am teaching you to trust my timing even when it stretches you, even when it asks you to let go of outcomes you cannot control. Do not assume that because something still exists, it is still chosen. Do not mistake presence for permanence. I allow some things to linger because the heart needs time to catch up with the truth the spirit already knows. If I removed everything the moment you asked, growth would be shallow, and understanding would be fragile. What I am building in you is not fragile. It is rooted. It is steady. It is unshakable. I know there are days when you feel like you are standing in between, not fully at peace, not fully broken, just waiting. Waiting can feel heavy when you do not understand what is happening behind the scenes. But I am working where you cannot see. I am rearranging thoughts, convictions, priorities. I am allowing conversations, moments of discomfort, realizations that slowly but surely loosen what once felt impossible to release. She still has a place in his world for now because there are lessons that cannot be rushed. Some chapters must close naturally, not by force, not by fear, but by truth becoming undeniable. When something ends before its lesson is complete, it tends to return in another form. I do not want this cycle to repeat. I want it to be finished, fully, cleanly, without residue. And hear this clearly, my child. Her presence is not a threat to your value or your future. What is truly meant for you cannot be taken by delay, confusion, or another person's unfinished story. I am not preparing you to compete. I am preparing you to stand secure, whole, and confident in who you are becoming. I am shaping you into someone who will not need to beg for clarity or chase consistency. You may not see it yet. But the very thing that hurts you now is strengthening discernment within you. You are learning what you will and will not accept. You are learning the cost of divided hearts and unclear intentions. This wisdom will protect you later. This season is not punishment, it is refinement. There are times when I allow someone to keep one foot in the past while the other hesitates toward the future, not because I approve of indecision, but because exposure leads to awakening. Eventually, the discomfort of staying becomes greater than the fear of leaving. That is when real change happens. That is when choices are made not out of pressure, but out of conviction. Do not rush to conclusions about your role in this story. You are not meant to fix, convince, or wait in anxiety. You are meant to remain anchored in me. The more you stay grounded in my truth, the clearer everything else will become. Peace is your confirmation, not urgency. When something is aligned, it will not require you to abandon your self-respect or your faith to hold on to it. I know your heart wants reassurance. So let me give it to you plainly. I am not leading you into confusion. I am not building a future for you on unstable ground. I am removing what is false, layer by layer, even when it looks slow from your perspective. What remains after this process will be honest. What remains will be strong. If you feel tired, rest in me. If you feel uncertain, speak to me. If you feel tempted to compare, remember that no one else's journey defines yours. I see the whole picture. You only see the frame you are standing in. Trust me to finish what I have started. There will come a moment when what feels unresolved will suddenly make sense. There will come a day when you will look back and realize that the delay protected you, the waiting refined you, and the unanswered questions guided you closer to my voice. You will not regret trusting me. Until then, do not let this situation steal your joy or your confidence. Live. Grow. Laugh. Become. You are not on hold. Your life is moving forward even now. What is meant to walk with you into the next season will meet you there. Not because you forced it, but because it was ready. I am with you in this. I have not stepped away. I am not silent. I am working in ways that honor you, protect you, and prepare you for something real, something peaceful, something lasting. Hold on to me, not to fear. Let me carry what you were never meant to control. You are deeply seen. You are deeply valued. And I am guiding every step, even the ones that feel unclear right now. My child, stay with me a little longer. Let your heart remain open, because there is more you need to hear, more truth that must settle gently into the places where worry has lived too long. I know you replay moments in your mind. I know you read into silence, into delays, into small signs, trying to understand what they mean. You are not wrong for wanting clarity. You are human. But I want you to learn something deeper than answers. I want you to learn trust without conditions. The hidden reason is not only about him. It is also about you. While you are watching what remains in his world, I am shaping what is rising in yours. I am loosening your grip on outcomes so your hands can be free to receive what is truly aligned. I am teaching you that love does not require you to shrink, wait in pain, or prove your worth through endurance. Real love, the kind I bless, meets you in peace, not confusion. You wonder why I don't simply remove her instantly. You think that would bring relief. But sometimes immediate removal creates unanswered questions that later turn into doubt. I want you strong, not dependent on circumstances to feel secure. I want you rooted in me so that when clarity comes, you will recognize it without fear. There are attachments that exist because they once served a purpose. That purpose may already be ending, but the emotional memory lingers. Let me tell you this gently: familiarity can feel like love even when it no longer carries life. Habit can feel like connection even when growth has stopped. I am allowing him to see this for himself, not because I enjoy your waiting, but because revelation lasts longer than instruction. I am also protecting you from stepping into something unfinished. You do not want to build on ground that is still unstable. You do not want to inherit unresolved emotions, comparisons, or shadows from a past that hasn't fully closed. What I am doing now is saving you from pain you cannot yet imagine. Trust me in this. You may feel like you are standing quietly while others occupy space that you wish was cleared. But hear me clearly, your quiet is not weakness. It is wisdom forming. It is strength learning restraint. It is confidence being built from the inside out. When the time comes for you to step forward, you will do so without hesitation, without doubt, without needing reassurance from anyone but me. Do not let jealousy or insecurity take root in your heart. Those emotions distort vision. They make you believe that another person's presence diminishes your importance. That is not my truth. You are irreplaceable. What is meant for you will recognize you without competition. I see your prayers. I hear the ones you speak and the ones you can't put into words. I am answering them, even when the answer comes as process instead of instant change. Growth happens quietly. Detachment happens gradually. Clarity arrives suddenly, but only after preparation. There will be a moment when you no longer feel triggered by her existence. That will be a sign that healing is complete, not that love is lost. Peace is always the indicator that something is aligned with me. When peace replaces anxiety, you will know that you are ready for what comes next. Until that day, keep your heart soft but your boundaries firm. Keep your faith active, not passive. Keep your eyes on me, not on what is leaving or staying in someone else's life. I am not asking you to wait in pain. I am inviting you to walk in trust. You are not behind. You are not missing out. You are being led. And when the final pieces fall into place, you will understand why I allowed things to unfold exactly as they did. My beloved, breathe and remain still with me. Let the noise of your thoughts soften for a moment, because I am speaking not to your fear, but to your spirit. I know the waiting has created questions that return late at night, questions that surface when you are quiet, when distractions fade and your heart begins to wonder again. I am not offended by your questions. I am patient with your process. But I do not want you living in uncertainty when I am offering you assurance. Understand this truth deeply. Some people remain connected to past relationships not because love is alive, but because identity is still being untangled. There are bonds that form around roles, expectations, history, and shared struggle. When those bonds are not healed properly, they linger. I am allowing this connection to exist just long enough for its meaning to be fully understood and released without confusion. What you cannot see yet is how much has already shifted. Conversations have lost their depth. Emotions have lost their intensity. What once felt heavy now feels tiring to him. This is not accidental. This is the natural result of truth surfacing. When something no longer feeds the soul, it slowly loses its grip. Detachment does not always come with drama. Sometimes it comes with quiet exhaustion. I want you to stop measuring your worth against her presence. Her place in his world does not define your place in my plan. You are not waiting for someone to choose you while I stand uncertain. I have already chosen you. I am shaping your heart for something clean, something mutual, something that does not require you to question your position. There is also a lesson here about self-respect. I am teaching you to value clarity over attention, peace over intensity, consistency over promises. You are learning that love should not keep you anxious or guessing. This understanding will protect you long after this season ends. Do not fear being replaced or overlooked. Fear does not come from me. What comes from me is confidence that does not need validation. I am building that confidence in you now. That is why I am asking you to loosen your focus on his journey and deepen your focus on your own growth. You may feel like you are being asked to trust without proof. but faith has always worked that way. I am not asking you to ignore reality, I am asking you to see beyond it. Reality is what you observe. Truth is what I am forming underneath. When the time is right, the remaining ties will fall away naturally. Not through conflict, not through pain, but through understanding. And when that happens, you will not feel rushed to step in. You will feel calm, grounded, and sure of yourself. That certainty is the sign that the season has changed. Until then, guard your heart, not by closing it, but by anchoring it in me. Let me be the source of your reassurance, your stability, your peace. You are not meant to carry the weight of someone else's unfinished healing. I am preparing you for a connection that feels safe, honest, and equal. This season is shaping your discernment so that when love stands before you, you will recognize it by the peace it brings, not the anxiety it stirs. Remain patient. Remain faithful. I am not slow. I am precise. And everything I am allowing now is serving a purpose that will soon be revealed. My child, let me speak to the place in you that feels tired now, the place that wonders how long understanding will take to fully settle. I know there are moments when your faith feels steady and moments when it feels thin. That does not disappoint me. Growth is not a straight line. Even strong roots push through resistance before they find water. I want you to know something important. I am not testing how long you can endure uncertainty. I am teaching you how to remain whole even when answers are incomplete. There is a difference. Endurance without understanding drains you. Trust with understanding strengthens you. That is what I am cultivating in you now. The reason she still has a place is also because timing matters more than desire. You may be ready emotionally, spiritually, mentally, but readiness must be shared to be safe. When one heart is clear and the other is still sorting through old attachments, imbalance is created. I love you too much to place you into imbalance. So I pause things, not to withhold, but to protect. You might feel like you are standing on the outside looking in, but you are not outside my will. You are right in the center of it. You are learning to stand without leaning, to hope without clinging, to love without losing yourself. These lessons will shape the way you walk into your next chapter. There are moments when silence feels louder than words. In those moments, remember that silence is not inactivity. Seeds grow underground before they ever break the surface. What you cannot see does not mean nothing is happening. I am working in spaces you do not have access to, shifting thoughts, softening resistance, allowing truth to surface gently instead of forcefully. Do not confuse delay with denial. If I were denying you something, I would close the door completely. If I were finished, you would feel release instead of tension. What you feel now is transition. Transition is uncomfortable because it asks you to live between what was and what will be. But it is also sacred. Many blessings are formed in this space. I also want to speak to your identity. You are not defined by who stays or who leaves someone else's life. You are defined by me. Long before this situation existed, I knew who you were becoming. Your value is settled. Your future is secure. Nothing about another person's unresolved past can cancel what I have written for you. When doubt tries to whisper that you are waiting too long, remember that I am never late. I arrive with precision. When things align, they align quickly. What feels slow now will feel sudden later. One moment you will be wondering, and the next you will be understanding. Until that moment, choose peace on purpose. Choose not to replay conversations that drain you. Choose not to imagine outcomes that steal your joy. Live your life fully in the present. I am not asking you to pause your happiness for a future possibility. I am inviting you to experience me right now, in this moment, exactly where you are. Trust that when the season changes, you will feel it. You will not need signs or reassurance. There will be clarity without confusion, movement without resistance, and peace without effort. That is how you will know it is time. Stay anchored in me. I am closer than you think. And I am guiding this story with care, wisdom, and love far deeper than you can imagine. My beloved child, come rest here with me now. Let everything you have been holding so tightly finally loosen in your hands. You have walked through this season with courage, even on days you felt unsure of yourself. I have seen every tear you swallowed, every prayer you whispered, every moment you chose faith over fear even when your heart felt tired. None of it was wasted. Nothing about you was overlooked. I want you to understand this clearly and completely. The hidden reason has never been about keeping you in waiting. It has been about bringing you into alignment. I was not preparing circumstances first, I was preparing hearts. When hearts are prepared, circumstances fall into place naturally. That is how my peace remains, even after the answer comes. There will come a moment when the connection you worried about will no longer hold emotional weight. You will notice it quietly, without drama. What once stirred questions will no longer disturb your peace. That is when you will realize that the season has ended, not because someone forced a decision, but because truth finished its work, and when that moment arrives, you will not rush forward in desperation or fear of loss. You will stand grounded, confident, and whole. You will know your worth without needing it to be proven. You will recognize love by its clarity, not by its intensity. You will choose what chooses you fully. I am leading you toward a future that does not require you to compete with a past, explain your value, or tolerate uncertainty to feel loved. I am removing confusion so that what enters your life next can enter cleanly. What I am building for you will not come with mixed signals or emotional shadows. Release the need to understand every detail. Some understanding comes only in hindsight. Trust that I have seen the full picture from the beginning. I know why I allowed each delay, each moment of waiting, each unanswered question. One day, you will look back and thank me for not moving faster than your healing could handle. Until then, walk forward without heaviness. You are not behind. You are not lacking. You are not waiting to be chosen. You are already chosen, already guided, already loved beyond measure. Let peace be your anchor now. Let trust replace tension. Let faith quiet every fear that tries to return. I am with you. I always have been. And I am leading you into something real. Something mutual, something that will meet you in the fullness of who you are. Rest in this truth. Your story is unfolding exactly as it should, and I am holding every with care.